So in the last video you guys just saw, when I was moving my cattle this morning to fresh grass, I discovered that a whole bunch of my neighbor's cattle were actually broken out in my back pasture. Not my main pasture, but my secondary pasture. Like you can see them checking me out. A bunch of calves, a bunch of mamas, all hiding back here. I don't want to get too close to them and tangle with them. Those mamas might get protective with me. You just don't know, so you gotta be careful. And so now I'm going to help him round up and try to collect him up. We're gonna actually start from over on his side of the farm, which it's funny, like even though we share a back pasture line, it's probably almost about 1.5 mile drive, almost 2 miles to get to his place from our place, just to go on roads versus as the crow flies. So that's what we're doing right now.
20 minutes later.
Just stopped off at my neighbor's and checked in with him to see what was going on. He's a really nice guy, a little older guy, and so he's kind of waiting to see what sort of help he can round up on his side. What I'm gonna do right now is go and do some exclusion fencing to keep them from wandering anymore. I don't wanna just try to drive them by myself, and he doesn't wanna try to just drive them, the two of us, because there's like a lot of woods, and if they go in the woods, they can go in all sorts of different directions, including the road, and so we wanna be a little bit careful with how we push them. But for right now, what I think I'm gonna do is head back to the farm, go back up to the spot where they're at, and try to push them and like contain them at least just a little bit to keep them from wandering off too far. So come with me, my friends. Come on, get out here. Okay, so it looks like in the time that it took me to go to my neighbors and come back, they have migrated back into the woods. I took the side-by-side up because I'm bringing some fencing up here with me to actually keep them off of this area and this gate. I really want to avoid having them mix in with my cattle, and honestly the best way to do that is to fence it off. You can already see 3 of my naughty calves. We got Curly Sue and Cindy Lauper, and I think that's Buttercup right there. They came back here to visit everybody because they were sort of curious. Yeah, it looks like most of that herd is in the woods here. Like you can see them checking me out. It's a bunch of calves, a bunch of mamas, all hiding back here. Meanwhile, my girls are complaining. They're like, come on, we want to play with those other calves, please. They're mixed. There's like, black Angus here, I think some red Angus. There's some belted Galloways in the mix, and then some mutts. My neighbor's been keeping beef cattle for a few years now. Excuse me, girl. I don't want you that close to that fence line. That's partially what I'm trying to fence off here. Come on, hip. Back to the rest of your herd, come on. They're all over there. I'm just here laying fence. Pay me no mind. I know it's not electrified yet. Ugh. You guys don't have much respect for fences, I can tell. There's the little bull. It's funny. They're all kind of grazing that secret pasture that I had on my list to fence in this year, but hadn't gotten around to. So I suppose in a way I should be thankful for my neighbor. This is saving me some brush hogging work. All right, there we go. We now have my pasture, at least the part of the pasture where my cattle are, excluded from my neighbor's cattle. So now with the other cattle excluded, I can now open the gate back up for my cattle, which is what we've got to go do right now. Bonnie McMurray. What's going on there, Bonnie? All right, you probably want some water, you want some shade. I'm gonna give it to you now. It's already heating up. It's 80 degrees so far. It's only going to get hotter today. When my wife and I were deciding on where to live, we picked New England for a reason, and Vermont in particular, because I am not the type of person who likes hot weather. And she is the type of person who likes to go skiing. Go for it, Bonnie. Come on through. I just saw Curly Sue back there if you wanted looking for her. I know, girls. There's a lot of activity going on today. We're all out of sorts. Things are disrupting our usual flow of things, I know. But hey, farm life would get boring if you didn't have moments like today. Oh, would you look at Princess Buttercup? She is so regal. Here with her mother, Anna Green Gables. Now the herd is off to seek some shade, and I'm gonna go inside and wait for my neighbor. He's rounding up a posse, and we're gonna try to catch his cattle a little bit later. So I'll be right back. Oh boy, looks like I got a whole bunch of animals that are expecting stuff. What do you think, Abby Dog? Are we ready to do the evening feeding? And I think I'm ready to tell you guys about what happened this afternoon with the cattle. So please allow me to tell you the story while I do evening chores here. Aw, who's the good Abby Dog? Yes, you are. My goatois have learned the drill. They already know what time it is. They didn't even have to be told to come in here. As soon as they see me now, they know that it's time for good treats. Isn't that right, boys? I know Larny Larn knows. I'm pretty sure Telemachus knows. Barnacus certainly knows. And Toby Dog knows this is his opportunity to go pee. Even though the goats might chase him out of here. They don't like it when he pees in here. Toby's like, all right, you guys are a little bit too much for me. I actually just cut a special treat for the goats. Let's see what they do with this. All right, you can't be a static Klingon here, all right? Come on, boys, I know you're gonna like this one. Step aside, let me get in. Hang on, let me get it all the way in. Now come with me, fellas. Oh yeah, look at these happy goats. So I know you guys are dying to hear what happened to the cattle. Where did they go? Are they still out back there? Like all that good stuff. And the answer is the cattle are now safe and sound back in their homes. Admittedly, I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated than it was. But after I corralled them out and prevented them from moving any further into our farm, my neighbor and a couple of his relatives, I think, just went out there with a bucket and some treats and shook it a little bit, and the herd knows them and just followed them, much like what you guys saw this morning when I called my herd, they just kind of came with me, which is, I find to be one of the more interesting things about cattle in general, right? Like, people always have this image of cattle being like very hard to call and very hard to get to where you want them to be. But quite honestly, when you put in the work and you are willing to train them and they're familiar with you and you put the time in with them, it's actually not all that hard to get them to go where you want them to go. Abby Dog is enjoying her breakfast, or dinner. It's dinner. I'm so used to talking to you guys in the morning. I always forget when I'm doing an evening one. And so I didn't even need to go back out there. I was picturing having to probably do a cattle drive via bicycle, but it turned out to be not even necessary. And the cattle just went to where they needed to go. And my neighbor's all set, and I'm all set, and yeah, all's well that ends well. There you go, Mr. Toby Dog. Toby Dog is always such a delicate eater, but I love him so much. But my neighbor was really appreciative that I fenced him in. It didn't really cause any problems, and he was very apologetic, and I don't know, it's fine. It happens. I think this is one of those things, and I know, actually I made a video on this topic right around the same time last year with the same neighbor, where, yeah, every once in a while, even if you do your best to fence in your animals and keep them contained, you know, they will get out. Like, I remember a couple of years back, I had some goslings that actually slipped right underneath that fence gate right there, and I didn't even know it. I was away from the farm working my office job at the time, and I got a phone call from my neighbor saying that there were some geese at her mother-in-law's house, who lives like right across the street, and wondered if they were mine. And sure enough, yeah, my goslings had escaped on the road, and they had found their way down there, and yeah, that definitely happened a couple years back. Let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go. Yeah, I've never had problems with the cattle, but I've definitely had problems with other animals. And so I kind of understand where my neighbor was coming from. And I will also say that this neighbor, he is kind of like an inspiration for me. And I was telling him this earlier today. You know, he's an older guy, definitely well past Social Security age. He's still raising a pretty significant beef herd, a bigger beef herd than I've got. And when I see him doing what he's doing, I'm just super impressed. And I think it kind of keeps him young. And so, you know, to be his younger neighbor and willing to help him, I'm always happy to do that. Oh my gosh. I'm so sweaty and my hair is so wild these days that yeah, I probably should have wore a hat. Would you look at these geese sassing at Abby? Don't worry, Abby. You can eat your food in peace. And these geese, particularly you, Honky Kong, I'm looking at you. That's Honky Kong right there. It's actually Honky Kong's right there, and that fella right back there, that's Spruce the Goose. I know, Abs, I know. They will leave you alone. They're just waiting to see if you can leave your food alone. And if you do, they will probably try to steal it, and I'll have to stop them. All's well that ends well in the great cattle adventure. I will say that it's been a very hot day, and I didn't get done nearly as much as I wanted to get done. You know, my plan was to start building the goat playground today, and I didn't get to it today. Probably start it tomorrow, but I think the high again is the high today ended up being 93. High tomorrow is projected to be 95. And so on days like that, I usually end up working on the farm until, I don't know, probably about 11ish or so. And then I kind of clock out and go to inside work for most of the rest of the day until dinner time or post dinner time, like I am out right now. Doing just some animal things, some like kind of maintenance tasks, that sort of thing. And honestly, when I'm doing summer chores like I am right now in the evening, it is kind of my favorite time to work on the farm. I just find it very peaceful and relaxing to like watch the whole farm go to sleep at night. And yeah, these days, like this time of year, because of like what I want to do with the goats and what I've got going on with the birds, I feed the birds at night. So it all kind of works out. And it's really kind of a nice moment to just say good night to the whole farm and good night to you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.